Hi, everybody. We're back with the Small Biz Chat podcast, and now we're going to talk sales. And at the end of the day, if your business isn't driving sales, you've got a big problem, and you will soon be out of business. So today, I'm going to talk with my guest. His name is Valdez Lasartemay, and he is going to talk to us about the role of marketing in your small business sales success. So let me introduce him. He is a lifelong sales professional with over 30 decades of selling everything from shoes to securities. He began selling at 10 years of age, going door to door, selling subscriptions of the San Francisco Chronicle. These days, he's a business consultant focused on business development and helping small business owners learn effective sales strategies and techniques, emphasizing servant leadership. His new book is Marketing for Salespeople and How Servant Leadership Attracts Clients and Increases Sales. For more information, go to marketing4salespeople.com. Valdez, welcome to the Small Biz Chat podcast.
Thank you for having me, Melinda. Appreciate being here.
All right. So tell me, how did you become so passionate about sales?
Well, it's been a lifelong journey. I was looking for a career that had no limits. And oddly enough, I stumbled across a Black Collegiate magazine, and I read that if you want to avoid glass ceilings, sales is a good opportunity for you. So I gravitated towards sales.
Love it. Love it. All right. So talk to us about what are the fundamental sales techniques that all salespeople really need? Like, what are the marketing techniques that all salespeople need?
Well, when it comes to techniques, I tend to stick to strategies. And the biggest opportunity for salespeople is to build strong relationships. I like to call it real estate, compared to real estate, in that it's relationship capital, okay? And rather than talk about sales techniques, let's talk about relationship building. I can tell you that salespeople leave a lot of money on the table because they do not optimize all their relationships. In fact, there's a lot of data out there that suggests that when it comes to referrals, 80% of the customers who buy are willing to give referrals. However, only about 20% of salespeople actually ask for them. But if you talk to a salesperson about it, they'll tell you they get plenty of referrals, but that just isn't true.
Interesting. So why do you think that sales professionals should use personal branding to build those relationships?
Because in order to really set yourself apart, you have to show that you have unique value. It's a very competitive market, and you can easily be commoditized. But by specializing in working with specific types of clients in niches that are the most profitable and gearing up to present yourself as an expert to those clients, you expand new markets.
Well, what is the best way to cultivate relationships as a small business owner? You told us earlier why it's important. But what are some of your key ways that you build relationships with strangers, essentially?
Well, you have to really get down deep into what your customers' motivations are, what your prospects' motivations are. So put the sales part of it aside for a moment and really focus on making sure you understand your client's needs. Most people short circuit that, and they talk about having difficulty closing sales. Well, it's not the closing of sales that's difficult. It's the information that you didn't gather in the beginning, finding out what the desires, the hopes, and the dreams are of your prospects and clients. And it's not easy to do because a lot of your clients can't articulate really what they want. So your job as a fiduciary, and that's the position I take as fiduciary to my clients, is to really help your clients and prospects understand the value of what they want and then present it to them.
So let's talk about that process. Okay, I presented something to them, and then they're like hemming and hawing. I don't get an immediate yes. Like, how can you handle objections in a sales process? Because that seems the number one thing that people who are not salespeople, the thing that they're most afraid of are having to deal with people's questions and objections. Can you talk about how you can kind of push through that?
Absolutely. First of all, look at those as a request for more information. Part of your job as a fiduciary is to educate your clients. So when they ask a question or when they make an objection, see that as a question that you need to answer. So focus on educating at that point and really making sure that you have clear understanding about their needs and your opportunity. And then you're just really just bridging the gap between the two.
Now, what are some of your favorite tools that you use in the sales process to sort of like streamline your engagement with people?
It's going to be the interview. The interview is the most important. Once you have a successful sale with a client that you really think is a great client, the next part is expressing to them that you enjoy the business that you've done together and get them to introduce you to more people. That just doesn't happen as much as it should. Prospecting is the hardest part of salesmanship, and your best opportunity for more business will be your existing clients.
No question. No question about it. I 100% agree with you. What about leveraging social media and online marketing, things like LinkedIn Sales Navigator and stuff like that? Are you a fan of that or no?
I am, because social proof is everything. You should get permission from your clients to share the success stories, because everybody likes a winner. So when you show that you've done wonderful things for one client, people will say, I want to do that too.
And then what about some of the key metrics that business owners should be using to sort of like measure and improve their sales performance? I've once heard the statistic that for every 10 sales calls, you can expect to close 3. So 30% of your sales outreach efforts should at least be successful. Does that jive with what you think? Or, how should people be measuring their sales leads versus sales close ratios?
That metric is a real metric. And that's why you want to focus on relationship building, because when you're introduced to another prospect from your existing customer, your metrics are 3 times better, because closing a referral, you do that upwards of 50%. Having to go cold with cold email or cold calls is actually worse than 3 out of 10. It could be a lot greater than that. And it's the reason why so many people don't last.
I love it. I love it. All right. What is the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice I've ever received is to be authentic and true to myself, and to work with strong integrity. Integrity meaning that I should know as much about my products as humanly possible, and I should work to find out as much as I can about my prospects so that I make a perfect match when I make a recommendation.
Love it. Love it. All right.